questions here. Tell us about your work career after the, as you became CIO. You and I were chatting.
Well, I was a really, really good programmer. I stretched COBOL to its absolute limits because they wouldn't give me, in those days, I was an assistance programmer, I was applications. I wouldn't have access to assembler, even though I knew assembler, but I couldn't get to it. So, and I wrote some phenomenal code. I don't want to brag about it, but
you just did.
No, I could go further.
That's okay.
Explain to people what that code did.
Everybody in here brags. That's why we're here. Go ahead.
Well, we had this one time. MetLife was splitting data centers, and in those days it was all on mainframe and file storage and job control language and libraries. And I wrote a program, and there was a system that had about 1,000 user-written programs in batch and about 1,000 in CICS and associated files and everything. I wrote a program that analyzed everything that went there and translated it into everything that went over there.
That's cool.
And I had about 3 months to get that done. And I decided not to try it manually. I wrote a program. I had faith. And it worked.
You're a smart guy. You're the valedictorian.
Oh yeah, that was another mistake I made.
Right. Your grades were too good, and suddenly you became the valedictorian. The worst nightmare.
That was one of my I wasn't, the cultural knowledge of another country is something that you take a long time to acquire. And so when I aced college, I was surprised that when the dean called me and says, "You're going to give a speech," I said, "What?" "Yeah, you're the valedictorian." I said, "What?" I couldn't get out of that one. It's kind of ironic. So there was at the time I was an active KGB agent giving the valedictory at a United States business school. See, my life is more of a comedy than an adventure.
It's not.
But anyway, so yeah, I have reasonable.
Tell us about the job at running IT, that's an
one day, the guy who was my manager quit, and he dumped a bunch of Gartner reports on my desk, and he said, "You're next. You're it." I said, "Are you crazy?" So I slowly worked my way into management, and I climbed up the ladder. And I got a quote. You guys are gonna love it. Present company excluded. But this friend of mine who made it up the ladder in the Stasi, in the East German intelligence, just gave a radio interview. And one of the quotes he gave was just phenomenally insightful. It is part of the human condition. He said, "I noticed the higher I climbed up the ladder, the more stupid people I found." And he said that, right?
Right.
But anyway, I ran into that problem all the time, so that's why, I never lasted 5 years. I never had a 5-year anniversary at any one company. I just, I didn't learn to communicate, quote unquote, the truth with, with a soft wrapper. I was still the old German. Germans are very direct and in your face, and they give you an opinion whether you ask for it or not, and they're this close to you. And it took me a long time to figure out that I was still acting like a German. I still have that residue in me, but it's not as strong as it used to be. I got married to a Jamaican, and she took the edge off in a big way.
You might have
So I became a CIO. Yeah.
You might have been a good guy for Google. That might have fit in pretty well over there.
I think the Google people are too smart for me.
That direct approach. So interesting.
Yeah. So I worked in 5 different companies, in 3 different industries, and I never found a well-functioning large organization. Only pockets within the organization. And sometimes those pockets were so good that senior management saw them as a threat and disbanded the folks.